You and your company have been at the centre of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers,
At all?
at all.
Say you've got a really amazing opportunity to hire a conservative commentator, 20 years of experience, never set a foot out of line, just really strong conservative economic values, strong social conservative values, fits in right with what the audience of the Daily Wire is looking for. But that person starts making criticisms that are similar to what Candace Owens has been making in the past 3 months or so, and everything else about their record is just perfect. Would you consider hiring that person? Like, would that person have a slot at the Daily Wire or no?
Are you trying to ask me why I fired Candace Owens?
Yeah, it's not looking too good right now on social media, is it, ladies and gentlemen? The drama within the conservative space, well, it just continues. People are coming at each other left, right, and centre, accusing this person of this, she said that, he did this. It's pretty out of control. It's kicking off, and I'm going to try and discuss some of it in this video, keyword try. But before I do, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video and share this video around. But I guess you could say a lot of it started when the Daily Wire and Candace Owens parted ways. They fired her, and we'll get into more of that later on in this video because we have more things to discuss about it. But we got more drama coming from the Daily Wire after Andrew Klavan made a video talking about Candace Owens and making the argument of why people saying Christ is king could be classed as anti-Semitic. Jeremy Boring also made an argument for it too on X. It's been a hot topic. A lot of Christians have seen what Andrew Klavan has said, what Jeremy Boring has said, and they're not too happy about it all. And as I said at the beginning, it's all kicked off. Let's just read what Jeremy Boring had to say on this matter on X. He responds to a guy genuinely asking, how is saying Christ is king anti-Semitic? No sarcasm, no trolling. Jeremy then says, how is saying Christ is king anti-Semitic? The same way anything becomes anti-Semitic when it is used for the purpose of expressing anti-Semitism. It's like, how does a shovel become a murder weapon when it is used to murder someone? This isn't hard. A shovel is not innately a murder weapon. Saying Christ is king is not innately anti-Semitic. It's about how a thing is used. Saying eat some cornbread is not racist if I say it to my 3-year-old when she is refusing her dinner. If I start saying it as a response to X by black commentators, I don't like it. It's taken on a meaning beyond what is innate. In other words, it is connotatively racist, not denotatively racist. So too, Christ is king may be anti-Semitic in connotation while not in denotation when it is being used to express anti-Semitism. Additionally, saying Christ is king for an evil purpose, like using it as a weapon to express your hatred or disdain for the Jews, is a grave sin. It plainly violates the third commandment, thou shalt not carry forth the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Surely, if I murder someone like Hamas did on October 7th, and all the while I shout at them Christ is king or God is great, we would agree that I have committed 3 grievous crimes, not 2. R-word, yes. Murder, yes. But also the great crime of implicating God in the first 2 crimes. So one must be cautious how one uses the name of God. God will not be mocked. Invoking him in vain self-promotion or to troll Jews or to attack your political rivals is to carry forth his name in vain. Jesus Christ is king, sure enough, king of heaven and of the earth, king of Jew and Gentile alike. Yet a bruised reed he will not break, and a faintly burned wick he will not smother. So do not use his name as a cudgel to bash those in whom the light of God yet flickers. If you do, you are a blasphemer and an anti-Semite and a piece of crap generally, and the fear of the Lord is clearly not in you. It will be though. Yeah, pretty lengthy tweet there, right? I'm not too sure we needed all of that, but we can all see what he's trying to say and the point he's trying to make, and we'll understand, you know, Jews, Christians see Jesus in a different way. And let's be real about this, there will be people on social media now using Christ as king, religious or not, to try and cause a controversial situation, you know, cause an argument with a Jewish person perhaps they don't like because they've seen this could be anti-Semitic. But you are going to get a big issue coming from this as well, because how many people will just see the words Christ is king, is anti-Semitic, it's anti-Semitism, and then use that in everyday conversations? This is what the woke activists do. They get told by an external platform that saying something is either bigotry or transphobic without actually analyzing if it is or not, and then they project that onto everybody else. For example, you say a man can't become a woman, they call you transphobic because somebody else has told them it's transphobic. So in this case now, you will get people out there who will say Christ is king in a genuine way, but that won't matter now because to some people out there, they'll automatically think, oh, they're being anti-Semitic, this is anti-Semitism, because the Daily Wire and others have made an argument for it. So naturally, you will get people who will be scared to say Christ is king because they don't want to offend people. So when you see it like that, Christ is king entering the debate of anti-Semitism is pretty crazy to think about. And look, I've got no issue with the Daily Wire. If you've been watching me for a year or so, you'll know a lot of their hosts inspired me, but the way I look at this, it doesn't look good and it's not being handled well at all. And it's sad to think about everybody being so divided on social media, especially in a time where everybody needs to be united and pushing back against all the things the woke left, the woke liberals are doing. But it just seems like the right want to destroy themselves over this issue. And what I can see happening, I could be wrong, but what I could see happening is just, you'll get people splitting off into different groups and it will become so tribal. Leave your thoughts down below on this whole situation, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to hear how you guys feel. But moving on to the Candace Owens situation, there was a space held on X on the Crisis King debate, and Jeremy Boring joined and they all talked about it, and people wanted to find out, why was Candace Owens fired? What is going on? A lot of people want to know. And Jeremy Boring ended up saying, I wouldn't hire a conservative if they believed a genocide was going on in Gaza. Take a watch.
Hey, Jeremy, I have a
Can
question.
I jump in?
Can I just ask this real quick, Nick? I'm sorry. I want to issue you a hypothetical, and I just want to get your response to it. Say you've got a really amazing opportunity to hire a conservative commentator, 20 years of experience, never set a foot out of line, just really strong conservative economic values, strong social conservative values, fits in right with what the audience of the Daily Wire is looking for. But that person starts making criticisms that are similar to what Candace Owens has been making in the past 3 months or so, and everything else about their record is just perfect. Would you consider hiring that person? Like, would that person have a slot at the Daily Wire or no?
Are you trying to ask me why I fired Candace Owens?
No, I'm asking you if you would hire someone with a beautiful, spotless track record of 20 years of amazing conservative values, but they made the same criticisms that Candace Owens has made in the past couple of months. Would that person have a job at the
Was
Daily
Candace
Wire?
Owens a conservative for 20 years?
I'm not saying that. I'm giving a
No,
hypothetical.
Candace was
person.
not conservative for 20 years. So no, this is not a Candace Owens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
This is the next Jordan Peterson. This is the next Jordan Peterson. Going to sell millions of books, going to make you guys millions of dollars, getting millions of views on every video they post. But they've made the same criticisms Candace has made in the last 6 months. Does that person have a job?
Yeah, I'm not. Even this is too close to the Candace thing for me to speak to, because I feel like there are implications of this that I'm not willing to engage in. But if your question is, would I hire, would I hire Bill Whittle if Bill Whittle suddenly said that there's a genocide going on in Gaza? No, I don't think that that's a person that I would hire at the Daily Wire.
Yeah, so people are saying this is an indication now that Candace Owens was fired or let go because she has a different stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict, which we all assumed anyway. She doesn't like what she's seeing, and those beliefs clash with the Daily Wire. What's interesting about all of this, though, when there were calls previously for Candace Owens to be fired because of the feud between her and Ben Shapiro, the video we got of Ben Shapiro holding the microphone and calling Candace Owens disgraceful, etc., etc. When there were calls for her to be fired over that whole situation, Jeremy Boring said this on X. I am currently on a leave of absence from my executive duties at the Daily Wire while overseas producing the film that they were creating. In my current capacity, I cannot fire Candace Owens. That's something Ben and I have in common, since he is also not an executive in the company and cannot hire or fire people. But even if we could, we would not fire Candace because of another thing we have in common: a desire not to regulate the speech of our hosts even when we disagree with them. Candace is paid to give her opinion, not mine or Ben's. Unless those opinions run afoul of the law or she violates the terms of our contract in some way, her job is secure and she is welcome at the Daily Wire. So to me, that doesn't really align with what's going on right now, because from what I've seen, I don't think Candace has broken any laws or anything. She's just, well, the insinuation is she's been fired because she said things people didn't like, which is the normality. That's always going to happen. And I would even say, Candace Owens and the Daily Wire agree on 99% of other things, so it's just this one issue that is causing a lot of trouble. And also that statement where he says he can't fire Candace in his current capacity, I'm not too sure what that means, but it looks like now he might have been a part of it. So a lot of question marks, and people ultimately are just questioning where the Daily Wire actually stand on freedom of speech. But last night on Piers Morgan Uncensored, Ben Shapiro was interviewed, and it's going pretty viral on social media, and as you would expect, the topic of Candace Owens came about, and he reiterated the point, look, I'm a co-founder of the company, I can't fire people, which, I struggle to believe a co-founder of a company doesn't have any say or any influence whatsoever on who works within the company. He also says, it's Jeremy Boring who is in the management side of things and gets involved with employees, which That also goes against what Jeremy Boring said when, I can't fire people. So again, a lot of question marks. But on the whole Candace Owens situation, Ben Shapiro refused to answer pretty much any question Piers Morgan asked. Take a watch.
One of the consequences of this war has been a lot of very high passions on both sides, a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the centre of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all.
You can't give me any insight into why she departed?
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask why?
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. Can I ask why you don't want to say anything?
Again, you can ask.
I'm only curious because I know what a staunch defender of free speech you are, and it would surprise me if it had been someone's opinions that would make you want to part company with them, however contentious.
I mean, suffice it to say, the only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace or with regard to any of our other hosts. I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. Jeremy Boring and Caleb Robinson are in management positions with regard to Candace or anyone else. And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone. The Daily Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any platform. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not.
I mean, I'm just not going to labour this, but one more point I would make is it's been reported extensively that the reason for her departure was because her comments have been perceived by people at the Daily Wire as anti-Semitic.
Again, I'm not going to comment on this, Piers.
Okay.
I mean, to put it bluntly, this situation is just a mess, really, isn't it? And I think it's going to take a while to blow over, especially with the whole Crisis King debate now entering the situation. And, in my opinion, I genuinely think the subscribers of the Daily Wire, first and foremost, deserve an explanation as to why Candace Owens isn't there, because there's going to be a large group of them who spent their money on the platform because of her, and now she's gone with no explanation. And people are just left to assume and read between the lines, which then also causes more chaos, more controversy, because Candace Owens is going to end up telling her side of things anyway. And when somebody, a former employee, says something about the company and exposes something, it is always a lot more intense than the company coming out first and saying, okay, this is what happened. But who knows how this is going to play out, how it's going to unfold. I just don't think it's going to be good. But leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, on this whole thing. What are your thoughts on everything that is going on right now? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Comment on this video, share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out.